Okay, welcome to this demonstration of the Stokepa stove. A couple of people on eBay have asked to see a video of the stove in action, so this will act as a test boil, instructional, and we'll take you through how it works, the theory behind it, and some of the considerations you should have in mind. Okay, we've got half a litre of water from the tap. We're going to boil that in a 0.8 litre Gellert kettle, which is my chosen tool when I'm out in the woods. We're going to fill the stove with 1.5 ounces of Meths. There we go. And that's the recommended maximum. If you do overfill it, on your head be it. It's cold today, it's 6 degrees Celsius. I'm going to use a priming pan, small stainless steel dish, and I will include one of these when you receive your stove. You don't need to use one, but it makes the bloom a lot quicker. It gets the chemical reaction of the combustion going much stronger and gives a more sustainable burn. So for winter use I'd recommend it. In the summer it's not such an issue, you're not going to have any problems with the temperature, but obviously the colder the temperature, just physics dictates the more fuel you're going to use, and it's just easier to use that. So let's go ahead, put the stove on there, and just put some Meths around the edge in the priming pan. And apologies for the shakiness of this video, I don't have a tripod yet for my iPhone, so we will light this up and away we go. Okay, so what we were looking for now is for the stove will heat up and we'll have a bloom from the jets, and then we can pop the kettle on. It's important that you let the stove get going, get some good heat going, get it heated up. You can see now we're starting to see flames from the jets. And I'm going to leave this till 3 minutes, just so we've got a good time reference on the video. 1.5 ounces of Meths will burn for 12 to 13 minutes, so it'll give us plenty of time and fuel to play with. Okay, so we're approaching 3 minutes. Oh, I haven't actually poured the water into the kettle, which will help. So then, that's 3 minutes 15. What you'll notice initially, the flames will lick at the sides. Once the Meths in the pan has burned off, those will retreat and the flame pattern will just come right to the edge of the pot. In terms of pot diameters, the best results will be with pots from 4.5, 5 inches up to about 7.5 inches. There's not really an issue with using less than that or more than that. Less though, obviously the flames will lick up the sides, it's less efficient, it will still boil. But maybe not as quickly. If you use a pot that's too large, then obviously you run the risk of the pot becoming unstable. So you can see now the flames are starting to retreat back to the edge of the kettle, and we will leave that doing what it's got to do. In the meantime, I'll show you around an empty unit. These are constructed from one-piece aluminium beer bottles that have been recycled. Weight, give or take a few grams, is 28 grams or 1 ounce. Height is just shy of 2 inches. They're extremely strong. I'm a big guy, I've stood on this, on top of it, no harm came to it. I think obviously if you stood on it that way, then you run the risk. But I think the message is they're a lot more durable than the penny pop can stoves that you'll see on eBay, which have their place and are great. I've used them a lot, but on occasions I've been walking around my camp and I've trod on them, and then if you don't have a backup stove, you're screwed. These are you know, a lot stronger and much more efficient. And the stove was inspired from looking at designs such as the mini ball stoves and the white box stove. Tinny on his YouTube videos does some great stuff. But for me, you know, I've always wanted one, but $25 plus post from the States, I thought it was a little bit steep, and so I looked to make my own, and after some good feedback decided to make them available for sale. You know, it's not precision engineered, it's tidy, it's well put together, it's robust, but you know, the guys at Miniball and Whitebox, etc., you know, they invest a lot of money in specialised tooling and have them professionally made. That to me is fine and all well and good if, you know, if they're precision made, but you know, $25 to me is very steep for that privilege. These work just as well and are a fraction of the cost. So there we go. What else do you need to know? I think looking at pots, you can help yourself with your choice of pot. I always go for hard anodized dark aluminium colours. They take the heat much better than the you know, the shiny aluminium. Aluminium will bed in the shiny ones after they've been used a few times, and they'll darken and they'll take the heat better. But you know, this gets you off to a flying start straight away. Another thing I would always advise: carry your fuel separately. You don't want your fuel anywhere near your camping pot. Meths has additives to colour it, and it won't taste very nice if it contaminates your pot. The other thing you should look out for: always use a windshield when you're outdoors. You can make them from triple folded aluminium foil. You can use some rocks that you've brought together, just put them round the side and drop your kettle on top of that. But you know, these will be affected by the wind because they are low pressure. Mine is just made from some offcuts from the stove making process, which I've just folded flat and linked together, and I can just wrap that round. It's flexible, you can bend it as you need it. So we're getting a change in tone from the pot now, some steam starting to come. So we put it on at 3:15, didn't we? So we're aiming for about 8:45 to get a 5.5 minute boil. It may do a bit quicker, who knows. So that's just coming up on 5 minutes now. And I think essentially we're there. There you go, rolling boil, less than 5.5 minutes. Everybody's obsessed with how fast you can boil water. I mean, is it really that important? But, you know, there's plenty of things you can be doing while you're waiting for your brew to come to the boil. But nonetheless, that's pretty impressive time. You know, you'll beat it with a jet boil, but, you know, that's the penalty you have to carry, is that extra weight. Anyway, thanks for looking in. I'm off for a brew. Any questions, feel free to ask them on the listing and I'll get back to you if there's anything specific you want to know. Thanks for looking in and take care. Bye-bye.